growing your fitness and health coaching business right now may feel overwhelming until, that is, you realize what steps you need to start, which to stop, and which you're already doing that you need to just push on the gas, the accelerator. So let's dive into this interactive episode. First, though, go grab the download that I have for you here, because this tool that I'm sharing with you, I'm going to walk through it step by step. But you can use this now. You could use it once a month or once a quarter, depending on where you are. I would suggest if you're just getting started, probably more frequently is better. We'll talk about that later. But here's the download, and that is at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/scorecard. It's free. You'll exchange your email address and it will be right there in your inbox. So super important for you. All right, I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business, previously Voice for Fitness Professionals podcast, and just so many other names. I think I finally know what I want to be when I grow up, and that is a female entrepreneur, helping other badass women step into their own power, step into their own voice, not someone else's. So while many of us may be offering fitness, we may be offering health coaching, nobody does it like you. So I was thinking about this the other day, going shopping with my mom, and, in junior high, when everybody now has, everybody's got painter's pants. I probably just dated myself, but if you went to school then too, you know what I mean? And everybody's got to have painter's pants, right? And then it's like, Gloria Vanderbilt jeans, Calvin Klein jeans. You collected the different brands and you wanted to, because that's what the cool kids were wearing, and you wanted to be the cool kids. You wanted to look like everybody else. Well, at this point in life, girlfriend, you want to do anything but. So if you're just wearing clothes you're not comfortable working out in, you don't like baring your belly, but that's all everybody else is showing is their belly, rethink. I mean, who are you? What is it that tells people why you're the exercise choice, not just a choice, the choice for them? That is the biggest difference. So what I do here is share marketing and sales skills, strategies that are easy, enjoyable, even fun, so you can both build a life and a business that you love, but do it in integrity. Anything but sleazy, salesy, and pushy. That's what you'll find here. And then occasionally, I also dive into the actual content and share how I support midlife women and went from 0 to 6-figure months. It wasn't just I was trying to get over that 100,000 annually. 6-figure months. Okay. So that is a major change. And when I started, at 49 or 50, that I was in panic mode, lots of anxiety, and it was tense. And I can help you skip that. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'm handing it to you. And this is one way. Tune into the end of the episode. So stay all the way through, and I'm going to share another way I'm actually handing you how I planned for greater profit and less stress while I was a one-woman show juggling this whole circus by myself for a very long time. All right. So that download again is at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/scorecard. If you don't have it right here, you can think through these things, but you're going to want to go and get it. Otherwise, I'm going to read to you and you're going to struggle to remember those things. When you're busy, it can feel overwhelming. This whole thing of wearing every hat and the marketing and the sales and the writing the copy and writing the emails and setting up the email and figuring out how you're actually tracking your statistics and watching insights on your Instagram and social media, on Facebook and YouTube, and how you tie that all into a website that actually makes money, doesn't just look pretty. So if you have to choose one or the other, choose the making money. Pretty doesn't often make money. So don't just hire a graphic designer who can do a beautiful website for you, because frankly, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. It can be really stressful to be that woman wearing all the hats, but it can also be comforting. You get to ignore that little voice that is nervous about revenue and wants to be making more. I mean, that's the benefit of being really busy, right? We do it on purpose. I mean, there is some way, if you're overwhelmed right now and you say, yes, that's so me, it's benefiting you. You're choosing it. And that I know is part of the reason why I did. When I stayed in action, I didn't have a chance to be thinking, oh my God, I'm so worried. I don't know, right? Like, I don't know actually what I'm doing sometimes. I'm just doing. But when you stay in motion, you don't allow yourself to analyze what you're doing that may not really be working. Problem. That's the detriment for some of us that are as or more addicted to hard work as we are to results. And I've got my hand up over here. So if you're there, I totally respect you and I understand it. I hate to admit it, but I've fallen into this trap over and over. When I started over at 49 with a huge sense of urgency because, no revenue coming in, imagine. I didn't have any debt at the time, owned my house, owned my Lexus, and, lived in the middle of America. But, I'm going to pay college tuition in 8 months. And that's like, okay, we're going to have a drain leaking on this big account. What are we doing to start filling that hole? That was a problem for me. I'd been doing fitness and I knew marketing for decades for other fitness businesses, not just my own. But what I blindly failed to assess is the fact that I needed to sell, not just to market more often. And I want you to make that distinction. So there's branding, there's marketing, and there is selling. You need to know exactly when to do each of those, but you cannot confuse them or you will hurt your business, potentially go out of business. So it's branding is not marketing. Marketing is not selling. If you market well, however, you have to do a whole lot less selling. It all has a place and time, branding, marketing, selling, but staying stuck in any one of them is not going to grow your business. If you are stuck on, hey, I don't have a logo, you don't need one. There are a lot of $1 million businesses that still don't have a logo. So don't get caught up in the fluffy stuff. I am personally a recovering content queen. I spent an abundance of time creating programs to sell and then overinvested my time in content creation before I really was selling. So that content creation is a strategic way to market. However, if you're overdoing any one of these areas, and, it's a little bit like nutrition. So we need protein, but we also need fat and carbohydrates. And it's how do you push and pull the percentages of each? Because we've got to get it right for health. And the health and wellness of your business is really what we're looking at today. So don't get me wrong. Content creation is absolutely important, but it won't make sales. You have to ask. When was the last time you asked? So those of you right now who are struggling, I'm going to make you uncomfortable and maybe make you squirm for a second, right? So this is not slapping you in the hand. This is said with respect. But if you're struggling to make more money, how many people did you ask today or yesterday for the sale? Because if you don't ask, you're not going to get a yes. They're not just going to come to you. And I know everybody paints the picture that, I'll create a course and then I'll just make this passive income. It really doesn't work like that. The long game is to create a course, but you first need to have a huge audience or you need to have a huge bank account so that you can pay for paid traffic with something you have taken years to prove works. Just because it worked for you is probably not enough. You need to have helped dozens, hundreds, thousands of people and have testimonies that suggest this is unique, this is different, this is like nothing else. So there's a lot of things that have to go on. In this business scorecard that I'm going to share with you today, we are going to go over 5 key areas, like how to find prospects, how to get clients, how to serve clients, to retain your clients, and then to get referrals from clients. And those are really the key 5 things that every business has to do. It doesn't matter if it's fitness or health coaching or plumbing or lawn care, but all of us have to do that. We have to find prospective customers. We then have to get clients from them. Some of them will filter out and not be your ideal. Then we have to serve those clients. We have to retain them instead of going to get a new one and another new one and another new one. So we've got to take them through what's next after you do this first step. And then we should be able to get referrals and use their client testimonials to help us do that. The reality is you can find prospects and get clients before you have a product or service ready. You can sell and then create, and you just have to be one step ahead. So you shouldn't be spending a lot of time and energy or money investing in developing a program, not until you've already done a method or have a system that is proven. So take them through it first, because if you build something and nobody asked for that thing, you just thought it was important, you knew they needed it, people have to first want it. So don't build it without their permission. You want to start growing your email list so that you have a waiting, willing audience when it's time to promote your first or your next item. To do that, you're going to need a freebie, a gift for them so juicy that they would have paid for it. And that doesn't mean big or something that takes a long time to consume or create, by the way. And in fact, those things will really hurt you. I was coaching someone, this was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and he was adamant that he was actually going to write a full book and he was just going to give it to them. And in his heart, he was in the right place. He was feeling like this was going to be such a big gift, like fully publishing it, giving it to them. And I said, this is not going to work, right? What you're going to need to do is give them something they can consume in about 5 or 10 minutes that will help them today. Either assess where they are, give them a checklist that they can use and implement for their next workout or for their lifestyle habits and see how they're doing. But I said, giving them that book, maybe your first sale, a low ticket item to get them into your world, but they've got to put their hand up for something like that, because, it takes me a very long time. I read about 3 pages at a time and then I'm out for the night, right? So getting through your book would never happen for me, but I can do something with a checklist. So you've got to really think more is not better, bigger isn't better. So you want to make sure it's something that could be done in a day by you, plus the time it takes you to enlist a graphic designer or a gig on Fiverr.com, for instance. So I'm going to cover these 5 key areas for building a fitness or health coaching business. Now, pay attention, they're not the same 5 as before. So we're going to go through how well is your niche, how to get new clients and customers, how well are you doing with getting new ones into your world? How's your follow through? Yeah, more on that later. How well do you nurture people once they're in your environment? And what is the process, the predictable process and the customer outcomes that you get? We're going to talk about all of those and how you can gauge. Here's how I'm doing on those. So you know, what do I need to start? What do I need to stop? And if you assess these 5 and you're not doing well, you really then want to go and look at, where am I spending my time, and identify the steps that you ought to be doing in order to get to the next level. As we go through this, I'll try and give you some concrete examples of, if you're not doing well, or here's where you are, here's what you might want to be doing and how you leverage yourself. But these, by the way, are actually directly in the description. So as I read the descriptions to you, what you'll say is, okay, this one is most like me, but I know I aspire to be like the last one you read, the most recent. So we'll go there. Think of this business scorecard as your wellness checkup. Find out if your business is healthy with activities that grow your fitness and health coaching business, or you have room for improvement. So, first of all, we're going to hit your niche. Where are you in regard to developing a niche? I'm going to listen to these descriptions that I'm going to read to you. Which one of them best describes you right now? When you're looking at the scorecard yourself, you'll realize that you have 3 different numbers within each category. So I might read 4 different descriptors, and you might say, number 1 is most like me, but there might be a number 1, number 2, and number 3. So you might say, no, I'm at the bottom. I'm like barely there. Or, I'm okay. I mean, it's across my awareness. We're working on it, but only sometimes and sporadically. You might then give yourself a 3. So within each range, you're just there. You can say, I'm at 1, 2, 3, or in the next category would be 3, 4, 5, or I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So all the way to 1 through 12 is your point total, what you'll use as your scorecard. So as you make progress, even small progress, you can improve your score, even though you might stay in the same category for just a minute. All right, so here we go. So let's read into niche. Think about which 4 of these describe you best. I'm just going to read them once. You can reverse and play it again if you need to. First of all, you describe your program as something for everyone, and you invite anyone to participate. Number 2 is you create programs based on what's trending and hot. Number 3 is you aim to grow your revenue by serving the same market, improving methods, and expanding for their needs. So in this case, they're already doing your fitness program, and you realize you're hearing them say, well, what should I eat? Well, that very same market, then maybe you need to develop a sample meal plan, put together, 10 to 20 recipes so that you've got things covered for breakfast and lunch and dinner that you would recommend. And so you're serving them and you're improving your methods and services for those that opt to do it. That could be an upsell, it could be an add-on, it could be a bonus, but you get the point. It's the same market, your same goal, but something that will help them be more successful. The 4th category here under niche is you dominate as the industry authority for a specific target market. People call you for quotes and for interviews whenever your niche is in the news. So recently this happened to me. So in the Flipping 50 business realm and what I do for my consumers and customers, I'm the menopause fitness expert. Midlife women's questions on fitness and health come up. I'm the go-to. People need an expert for their summit on fitness for women in menopause. I'm it. They want somebody on in their podcast or on their main stage for this audience because they're hosting an event. I'm the one they call. You can start this too locally. If you're a brick and mortar, you still do in person and or you're online. But if you hybrid, you're both brick and mortar or you go to homes, you're somehow physically in touch with customers and clients, it's a great way to establish yourself by getting yourself in the media, working on that to become the credible expert so that other groups in your area, those female professionals in midlife or beyond, or those organizations that are sorority based, that are helping charitable organizations, for instance, they have speakers come in all the time, usually on a monthly basis, about 9 months out of the year. They need somebody. You can dominate here. And those are ways how. So nobody probably is going to call you. Let's say your toilet is overflowing and you have that option of going to Craigslist and looking for a handyman, or you're going to call the plumber, the first one that comes up, because they're clearly advertising. Who are you going to call? Right? You're going to call an expert, not a handyman, for something like that. So similarly, that's who you want to be. So if you're doing something for everyone, jack of all trades, you're probably not going to get called for any one niche. And will somebody who sees you think, oh, I wonder if they could help me, or I wonder if they also could help my son or my daughter? The chance that you will get first dibs is pretty good. Okay, great. So now, again, it's going to help you tremendously to actually see this scorecard, but I'm going to move on. The next question I have for you is, how well are you, right? So this is your wellness checkup. How well are you at attracting new clients or customers? Are your daily activities working for you to grow your fitness and coaching business? Be honest as you fill this out. You may have heard something before. You know you need to do it and still not actually be doing it. Because listen, we all drag our feet. It may be something you feel like I'm not good at. I don't know how. So we tend to avoid those things, right? Have you ever noticed? So let me go through these again. There are 4, and you'll find that standard all the way through. So which one of these describes you best right now in your business? Number 1, you aren't currently attracting new leads on a daily basis, but instead you're relying on word of mouth and you personally promoting. Number 2, you focus on branding and building awareness with your target market. Number 3, you always have enough new prospects. And when you launch a program or have evergreen funnels, you increase your results every quarter, every year. Number 4, you're always able to generate prospects predictably on demand for a cost without surprises. So we're saying here that your marketing budget is pretty predictable, that you're investing maybe X amount and you know what that amount is or should be from month to month. Maybe you're checking from a profit and loss statement, hopefully so. You know what you're spending in ad dollars, and you also know how many prospects are typically coming in, how many come in from your organic traffic, the organic things that you're doing, say on YouTube. So on a monthly basis, I jump into my insights. I can see I'm growing by 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 channel subscribers every month. Now, a good portion of those people also come over and they are organic traffic on my email subscriber list and eventually become customers. It happens all the time. It's my greatest source of organic traffic because why? It's a search engine. So think about, what are you doing to get new customers on a regular basis? And however, that does not include spamming people in your timeline feeds on Instagram or Facebook. You're not wanting to, nor should you be, saying, hey, buy my program. Here it is. It's open right now. Unless that's a paid advertisement, it's going to hurt you. So on Instagram, people actually don't go there to do anything but to get inspired and get to know people and see what their family and other people are doing. But they want to laugh. And, your program actually probably doesn't do that. At least the advertisement for the program. So you want to be very careful. You will kill your organic growth. So if you find you are not really getting many likes or many shares, and you haven't really grown from now to 6 months ago or 12 months ago, and you're sharing every time you have a program opening or come up in your posts, that's probably why there's no growth. So, yep, other things matter. You need to have great graphics. You need to use hashtags like you're a boss and you know exactly what you're doing. But if you're sharing just what feels like an ad for people, you've lost them. You're really going to struggle to grow. So think about where you are for that. New clients, getting new people in is always going to be important to you. Let's go on to the next area. Does your level of follow through slow or grow your fitness and health coaching business? Ouch, right? People aren't always ready to buy when you want them to buy. Darn it. So, how do you handle that? This section will tell you if you're on the right track or if you have some small things that could probably make major improvements in what you're doing. Okay, so this is all about follow through. And this, we could say, applies to many, many things like follow through, follow up with people that you met. I was just at a conference last weekend and, someone stood up in the last session and volunteered that one of the takeaways she had from this conference was that she met so many great people and that she knew it was going to require follow up. And so she was dedicating 3 hours of her Monday, the next day, to following up with all those people that she had met about whatever it was that she had said, I can help you with this, or, I would love to host you on my podcast or tell your story about your book and whatever it might be. That is so important, right? Because then a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, and you kind of reach out and you're like, I kind of forgot what we talked about. So, how good are you at that? Here's 4 ways categorize yourself. Which one describes you best? Number 1, when prospects are not ready to buy now, they fall through your cracks. They don't have any more contact with you unless they initiate it. Number 2, you believe by posting regularly or creating content, they will come and they will choose you when they're ready. Number 3, it's a little unpredictable how much time it takes to convert your prospects into customers or why certain people buy and other people don't. Number 4, and always we're going to the top from the bottom. So you have a systematic way of knowing how long someone is a prospect and how many contacts they need before they become a customer. So somehow in your CRM, your customer relationship management, which often is, this is how you send email, right? So if you can go into your constant contact, your Aweber, and you're just getting started, those might be 2 that you might most likely use. Or you can look at MailChimp, that's another. Or you're using Entreport, or you're using Infusionsoft. Those will tell you how long has someone been on your list, quote unquote, they've subscribed, and have they purchased anything? You can do a search for those kinds of people. You can do a search for your average customer value. And how long is somebody in your membership, for instance, before they drop out? What's the average length of time someone's there? So you want to know many of those details, and you have a systematic way of doing so. So do you? And if you're wondering, I don't know if my CRM does that, or you don't have a CRM yet, we need some way of managing those people. So really, you can't be sending through your Gmail account anymore, peeps. You need a legit form. And yes, deliverability becomes a problem. However, you'll be spam if you're sending customers and business clients in a group format from your Gmail account. It's just really not a good practice. So next up, we're going to talk about nurture. How is that going for you? Do you dedicate time regularly or have an automated way to nurture your business, your prospects, and your customers? How do you create relationships that are beyond superficial with your customers? Do you have a predictable way to be top of mind for your audience? So let's review 4 options here for you to choose. Number 1, Do you wait for prospects to take the initiative to tell you they're ready to buy? Number two is you consistently check in with your prospects to see if there's anything that you can do to help them. Number three is you focus on sales training that overcomes objections and helps create closes for new customers now. Number four, you consistently make specific offers to prospects as they learn more about you and how you help so they become more ready. The opportunity is irresistible. All right. So, of course, the last one is where you want to be. You're consistently making specific offers. Now, that may feel like I thought I wasn't supposed to sell all the time, and you're now telling me I should sell all the time, but you're not. There are ways in every email you send. You put opportunities to work with you now there so that you're actually really writing. The body of an email is content. It's just giving new information or putting same information in front of them, maybe in a different way with different words. And at the bottom, for those people who are now ready, you give them a way to, hey, are you ready to get started? Here's how I can help. And for other people, maybe they want to come in from a different angle. So rather than exercise support, they need sleep support, or they need exercise or food support. So there's all kinds of ways that you can very benignly, right, make an offer without it being, hey, my program's open, enroll. Right? Because you're here. So that's what you're supposed to do. We can't really treat them like that. They got on for information. We have to continue to give them the information. And that is so very important. All right. Last but not least, let's look at this. How well are you able to document your process, your method, your system, uniquely you? When women go through, and health coaches, trainers, either one, go through the Flipping 50 Menopause Fitness Specialist, I give you the After 50 Fitness formula for women. So you've got that, but you yourself have also a layer of uniqueness. So let's say you go through that program and you are a Pilates instructor. You're going to encourage those things. But if you don't actually offer strength training, you're focused on how you help with the realignment and rebalance and potentially de-stressing and the conditioning of those deep core muscles, right? And so your formula, your method, your system, and mine is simply called the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women. Yours will be called something different. You need your name. You need something very specifically trademarkable, not something that sounds like every other program. So when I coined the program Stronger, what I've noticed, unfortunately, is that a lot of people are also using that. A lot of people in our community, honestly, but plagiarism is not, unfortunately, a good form of flattery. So you're looking for a unique name that makes your program very distinct. And honestly, those words bring people back to me. So whoever's got the anchor in first and deepest often will be getting the juice. So you want to make sure you're not promoting in such a way that is such a blanket statement that you're promoting for somebody to get that, but only for you. So do you create predictable outcomes for the audience, your specific avatar you work with? What's your process or method? Listen to the statements that I'm about to read and choose the one that describes where you are right now. All right, so hold on 1 second. And I knew that would happen. I told her I'm basically free all day. She's calling. Okay. Inevitably, my phone doesn't ring all day. But then, all right, so top 4 things. Number 1, you're unable to predictably get a consistent result for your menopause fitness clients. You don't know why, or you blame lack of compliance on the customer. Okay, number two, you're usually able to get the results that clients want, but the process is less than methodical. So you couldn't teach it to anybody else. Number three, you're confident about your system or your methods, and most of your clients have a satisfying experience and get the transformation that they want. And number four, you have a unique process and you've named it, even trademarked it, or are working on it, that consistently gets results. And you can teach it to others to expand you or your reach. Okay. So, what you'll see in the scorecard below this is a place for you to put in your scores for niche, for new clients and customers, the follow through, the nurture, process outcome, and get a total score. Now, if you take 5 times 12, you do the math, but you get a number. You're just going to compare yourself to where am I on that. But most importantly, I think you're going to look at which of those areas am I doing the poorest, really is what I was going to say, but I don't love that. So, where you have the most room for improvement. And, if you're struggling with any of the latter ones, that can be improved later. But if right now you don't have a deep niche and you don't have a way to get new clients and customers, you want to work on those two first, right? And then be prepared to do the others now that we've planted those seeds. So, so very important. Okay, nice. You're going to want to go to the fitnessmarketingmastery.com podcast for the show notes. And where we're going to get those show notes is actually at the business scorecard at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/business scorecard. And for the scorecard itself, it'll be at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/scorecard. You'll download it. That's it. And I want to keep you tuned into one more thing. If clients and prospects are something you need more of, because you are selling, you are converting some, but you need far more traffic so that the number of some is bigger, right? As you work on all these other things, you need to know how to plan profitable promotions, not just now as you set yourself up for the coming year, but all of 2023. What does that look like? I generally take time away in October to look at how am I setting myself up? How do I want to start the year? What programs am I promoting based on what happened well? What was well done in that previous year and what wasn't? How did I spend my time? And is there a disproportionate amount of time spent on things that actually didn't provide profit? What do I want to do with that information? Why might it have been true? I unpack all of that. And I usually try to get out of my environment to go do it. So I've taken a couple of days and gone to Sedona, which is about an hour and a half away from me. I have been in the mountains in Colorado and done it. And, just being out of your environment where you cannot see the dishes stacked up, you can't see the laundry, you can't see, oh, I need to call a handyman to hang that picture. It's actually what I'm staring at right now. Or that, the weeds need to be pulled or trimmed and something needs to happen here. I want to put on your radar that coming soon, and if you're listening to this live in October of 2022, that will be reality. I'll be presenting a 1-hour masterclass and sharing the exact planning tool I use, a spreadsheet. I'm giving it to you to plan my promotions and my publishing calendar to support the promotions. And you'll see how I plan content, and I've duplicated it for you. So you literally see mine. You see the promotions and you see how I schedule the content and get it in there. And then I duplicated pages. So you can use it for the end of this year, whatever year you're in as you listen. You can use it for your following calendar year and the following and the following. And if you start now, It may be not so pretty this year, but it will be better than it was when you weren't planning it. And then next year, it will get better and better as you learn how to analyze the data. And that too, maybe an offshoot in a future program, but you've got to have this. And I go through the ABCs, the 3 mistakes, how to fix them, and what to do. So literally, this is like an interactive workshop. I will ask you questions that you will then want to respond to, write down the answers to. You may want to replay this, and you will have access to it for a limited time, because I know if you don't go into action now, your next calendar year is going to suffer. And potentially you'll be right here again, struggling, but not really making progress. Now, we all know that the growth in online and the digital space is going to be tremendous. I mean, it went from like 11 billion to 16, I think, in the last couple of years. And by 2026 is going to 79. It's crazy. So what does that mean? Okay, great opportunity. Hurrah, hurrah. But it also means a great deal of competition. Everybody else beside you, to your left and to your right, who is a fitness pro or health coach, or who is making another Fitbit, or who is making another Peloton or the Mirror, all of those are competing for your customers' eyes. You have to be better at it. You have to be systematic and methodical and be calculating what's next. How do I pivot? And I'm going to help you do that. So if you have questions, I want you to go to the show notes. And again, that is fitnessmarketingmastery.com/business scorecard. And I seriously hope that you will download this scorecard, fitnessmarketingmastery.com, just scorecard. But come to the show notes so you get the link in order for you to do that. You'll see some of the things that I've talked about. So I include almost verbatim the script that I use to talk to you here. And I know for some of you, you actually want to read it and digest it a little bit better. And then you may want to listen again, and I'll go through this with you, giving those examples I just gave. Okay. Love to hear from you too. So if you leave a note for me, a comment below the show notes, much appreciated. And if you work with another health coach, another personal trainer, you have a friend, somebody you meet at conferences, you know they want to be one, they are one, they want to do better, please share this with them. It helps us spread the word. And as female entrepreneurs, we rely on each other. If we raise up everybody's level of expertise and we are helping other heart-centered, knowledgeable trainers and health coaches, we're up-leveling the fitness industry, and we are all a whole lot more proud to be here. Amen. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day, and go and load that scorecard up.